Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom First Impressions on another of the new anime of the summer 2016 season. This one, as you can see by title below, is on Qualidea code. I think that's how you say it. I don't know, I could be wrong. If I am, feel free to comment below to, correct me. But when I saw this, I was like, how the hell do you say that? Qualidea? Qualidea? I don't know how else I would say it. So Qualidea code it is, guys, until someone corrects me or if I'm actually correct. How do I feel about this? My first impressions. This is just, of course, your normal, generic Magic Academy kind of thing. To be honest, for that aspect, it's nothing new. The story isn't anything crazy new. It's all of a sudden there's these new, like, monsters or aliens coming down to attack. We have these academies with gifted students fighting different types of powers. We have, throughout the whole thing. And it's nothing entirely new that would be like, whoa, okay. The beginning made it look like it was super intense. Like, there's a war going on, everything's getting destroyed. And, of course, we find out that all the adults, or pretty much most of the adults, end up dying. And then the kids were put into a sort of sleep and later on woken up, and now they have these powers called World or something like that. It's nothing new, like I said before, but it is interesting in the fact some of the stuff, for example, having the three different fractions. There's the Tokyo fraction, the Chiba fraction, and I forget the other one, but they all have their different types. The Chiba has like a train, and they're kind of more of a land based, while the other one's more of a ship based. And then we have the flying magic kind of base, kind of of Tokyo, which is pretty interesting. The main character is definitely one of the ones that I don't like about this anime. He's a complete asshole, thinks he's better than everyone. It's pretty weird to see how at the beginning he was like, help me, someone help. And then Kanadia's like, oh, don't worry, just look at me when you're scared or something, and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden in the future, all of a sudden now he's just dick, and she's this nice, big opai girl, childhood friend, trying to help him out and everything. That part isn't super new as well. It's kind of generic to some of the characters. The action, though, it was pretty interesting, pretty good. I like the fact that they have different fractions in the way that one's in the air, one's on the sea, and one's in the, what's it called, on land with the trains and everything. What doesn't make sense is how at the beginning of this anime, it makes it look so like, oh my gosh, the world pretty much ended, everyone is dying, and now all of a sudden we have all these kids like fighting each other for a point instead of trying to defend each other. Like, my Hime, at least, she was like, oh, I like her as well, by the way. She was all like, but I try to help everyone. And I was like, oh, yeah, she's doing for everyone, even though somehow she has like the top of the board with like ahead by like 3 million points, or was it like in the millions? All they had in the millions, and she's like 3 million ahead of the second place person. I'm just over here like, damn. And then of course you see why when she uses her giant sword and just pretty much destroys part of their own place as well. But it was pretty interesting to see all the people's powers as well, especially Kanadia. I actually like it. Like, I always love to watch animes where they intertwine action with music. If you guys haven't watched Macross Delta, that's honestly another one that's still ongoing right now, and it's really good. But when she started singing, it was really awesome. I liked it. The soundtrack in this one is one of the reasons that I would definitely stick with this anime. The other one being, of course, the whole idea. I mean, sure, it's generic, but I do like that kind of academy, kind of different fractions kind of thing that's going on. We don't really get much of a what's the full-on story, what really happened, after they got frozen. Who are these aliens? They're just called unknowns. Like, that's kind of generic, nice name. Oh, I don't know what to call it. Let's just say unknown because it's unknown what they're called. So the unknowns are coming, these weird unknown alien things. I'm not too sure what they are, why they even came, how the students even got these powers. There's still a lot of things that we don't really know. Maybe they'll end up telling us in the next episode, hopefully. But right at this moment, the main thing for me was the soundtrack and the kind of the fractions kind of thing. The action was okay. It wasn't anything super special. It was cool to see all the people's powers, like the one girl jumping around shooting her fire and ice gun. We got this dude with a sniper. He doesn't really give a crap. He's kind of the lazy character, just like, okay, just trying to be an ass to our main character who's getting pissed off as well. And it was overall just like, it was an interesting generic kind of experience. And there's nothing wrong with being generic sometimes. Sometimes I actually like to have that kind of stuff. I'm not too sure if this is going to be a harem or even if there's going to be romance at all. I don't think it's going to be a harem from the looks of it. As for romance, it's a possibility. Obviously, Qualidea, and him are definitely close, Ichan. But it doesn't look like it's going to be focused anywhere near around just like a romance point of view, which is in terms kind of different from the generic, what we've been having, the ecchi harem romance school magical academy kind of thing. So that's a little bit different in that fact that it doesn't look like they're going to be focusing on a romance, which could make it so that the action, music, and all that kind of stuff is what's more placed on in the front. And if the story does, we get more info on the story, maybe it will be a lot more interesting, I think. But yeah, overall, I think this is an okay anime. Generic, yet still enjoyable. There's nothing wrong with being generic sometimes. Sometimes, it may not be anything special and new, but sometimes you like these kind of things. And I honestly still do enjoy these kind of animes. So I'm definitely going to continue to watch this one. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next episode. What's going to happen, if we learn more about the story and everything. And see if there's any more, good songs and maybe some good action as well. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So please enjoy this Anime Kingdom first impressions. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And don't forget, if you haven't already and you did enjoy it, feel free to leave a like. And as well, if you haven't before, feel free to subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. So until next time, see ya.